Hello, and welcome everybody to episode 2 of Open Thought House. I am here joined today with Squirrel, and we are actually going to be talking about MS today. She is actually my best friend, and I care about her very much. My father actually has MS as well, and so to me this is a very sensitive topic, but I would like to talk about it. So I am here with Squirrel today, and I just am going to kind of interview her in a way just to kind of get an idea on what it's like living a day with multiple sclerosis. So what exactly is MS?
MS is short for multiple sclerosis. It is an autoimmune disease that your white blood cells attack your myelin sheaths around your nerves. Taking it down a notch, basically your white blood cells are what fight infection in your body, and my white blood cells think that my protective coating around my nerves is an infection, and so my white blood cells attack my nerves until they just deteriorate.
That sounds awful. When were you first diagnosed?
I was diagnosed on May 7th, 2019.
Wow. So I know that typically, at least I know with my dad, bless his heart, he takes so many medications due to it, and I've even asked him, do you even know what all of those medications are for? And he looked at me honestly and said, nope, I have no idea, but yet he still continues to take them. Are you able, or at least do you know exactly what medications and exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and can you name off all the medications that you have to take for this?
I can name off the medications that I have to take, but I cannot tell you the dosage, and I can tell you maybe what half of them are for.
Damn. So how many do you think that you have to take on a daily basis?
I take 9 in the morning and 10 at night, so 19 pills total. And occasionally I have to take extra medication in the middle of the day because the nerve pain gets so bad. So it can go up to 23 pills a day.
So let's just go back to yesterday. What was yesterday like for you?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Is your memory usually pretty foggy?
Most days are new. My biggest lesion that they found on my body when I was very first diagnosed with MS was a 2-centimeter lesion on my frontal lobe. And your frontal lobe is pretty important. It's your emotional, your physical health. It's everything to the brain. And losing so much, I often don't remember. I can recall things that happen in a day. I remember falling today, but that's all I remember today. It's hit or miss.
Yeah. So what would you rate your pain today on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being pretty low, 10 being the worst pain you've ever experienced?
I would say that today my pain is what it typically is on an average day, which usually floats between a 7 and an 8. And then occasionally we get up there in the upper numbers and we hit that 10 and we cry for a while, and then we get back up because MS doesn't control my life.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. So I know that actually, obviously, because we talk a lot, I noticed that...
Who are you?
Right? I noticed that your shoulder was causing an issue. So when did that start?
Well, that actually started about 2 months ago. And originally it had just started out in my cervical spine, which for those that don't know is your neck. and it was on the side. And I already knew from the beginning of my diagnosis that C3 to C7 on my cervical spine are completely damaged and deteriorated. So when the pain started, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great, awesome. There's more nerve pain. And now that nerve pain has kind of spread into a daily nerve pain up like where your rotator cuff is and down into my lateral. And, it basically feels like I have a pulled muscle or dislocated shoulder, and it just hasn't left in like 2 months. And so I've upped my nerve damage medication, which is what I was talking about earlier, sometimes taking 23.
Yep.
I take ibuprofen, but honestly, ibuprofen doesn't help MS.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really do much, but I like to pretend that it does. So.
Oh, sure. Sure. Now, I know that this is something that, I think it's a topic that needs to be brought up because a lot of people still have the stigma that marijuana is such a terrible, terrible drug, and I guess I want to get your thoughts on, because we know medicinal use marijuana is legal here now in Missouri, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on, do you indulge and how much do you use, and do you think it helps with anything?
Well, this is a huge topic for me because I am a huge advocate for the use of medical marijuana. Prior to my diagnosis, I was just your simple, boring, basic, stay-at-home mom. I didn't drink. I didn't indulge. I just, played Barbies all day. Mm-hmm. And there was never any me time, sure. And one of my friends, her husband smoked weed on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And I call it weed because it was recreational for him.
Sure.
And he said, this is something that I think might help your pain. And I was like, well, at this point, I'll give anything a shot, because this was in the beginning of my diagnosis. I was taking 43 pills a day.
Now, how old were you then?
29.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 29 years old. I couldn't take a shower by myself. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't play with my kids. I couldn't run outside with them anymore. And I just felt so drained from the drugs themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a lot of medication to pump into your body. It was 1,000 milligrams of steroids I was having to put in my own body every single day.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so I said, okay, I'll try it out. I dabbled in it as a teen, and mm-hmm. It was fun. And that night changed my life and my views on marijuana. Mm-hmm. I had hit that goody two-shoe stage of everything is bad if it's not good, because I was a mom and that was how I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And due to me reaching out last year and getting a medical cannabis card, they allotted me 4 ounces for a prescription for a month. I typically myself probably say that I smoke 3 to 4 grams a day. Sometimes less. Honestly, it depends on the pain level.
Sure.
I smoke 1 joint in the morning and it gets me up for the day. I can focus because it helps my brain retract itself to where it's supposed to be. Where people say, it modifies your brain. And I'm like, well, yeah, it does, but in a positive way, because I can think. Mm-hmm. I can sit down with my kids and teach them virtual school, which is something that a year ago would have been out of the question.
Sure.
Because I didn't even know how to talk to people. I had a stutter that was worse than the one that I have now already. And since starting smoking medical cannabis, I have knocked my pills down over half.
Wow.
Because it helps with my pain and my focus so much that I need half of what I regularly needed. And the pills that I do take now are ones that unfortunately I'm going to have to take for the rest of my life because of what they direct, you know.
Sure.
One thing is not a cure-all, unfortunately, but everything combined together is definitely, I say that cannabis has a huge impact on my daily life.
As you know, obviously I don't have MS by any means, but I suffer from, major depressive disorder and horrible anxiety. Oh my God, it's out the roof. I am currently working on trying to get my 420 card, but I have noticed with at least my depression for sure, it has majorly helped me. It really helps me focus more, honestly. It sounds silly, but it does. I think it's because my brain's going every which way all the time, constantly, and it really helps me focus and get tasks that I need to get done, whether it be doing the dishes, running the washing machine, whatever it may be, but it just helps me function and get through the day. And typically, if I don't have it with me, it's typically have a very strong depressed day, and that's, something I'm obviously trying to, steer away from. But that's something that got me very irritated when I went to Kansas City at the psychiatric hospital. The first night that I was there, my anxiety was, God forbid, out the roof. I was in a whole brand new place. I was terrified, scared out of my ass, like awful. And I went up there, and it was a male nurse, and he gave me Ativan, and I had never had Ativan before. I mean, by God, it did the job. It felt great, fantastic, but he told me that I could take it up to, 4 times a day, or every 4 hours, I think is what he said. I could take Ativan, which is, I feel, I was like, well, I don't really need it that much, but, okay. So the next evening I'm in there and I asked for Ativan again, and this was a female nurse this time. It was a different one, and she said, honey, you do know that that's a very addictive pill that you'd be taking. You could get hooked on that if you continue to take it that much. And I said, well, the other nurse told me it was okay. I could take it, every 4 hours or so. So I thought it was okay, and I liked the feeling. So, it really helped with my anxiety. And she's like, well, we'll try with trazodone. And it was just trying all these different medications. And I, was just so frustrated because I hate that hospitals and even counselors and not counselors, nurse practitioners or doctors just throw all these pills at you, and you go through, millions of pills trying to figure out what's best for you. And for me right now, I am speaking to a whole brand new licensed professional, and he possibly thinks that I have type 2 bipolar, so I may not even be on the correct meds that I'm supposed to be on. But I do know for damn certain that marijuana does help me at least function, while at least I'm going through these crazy meds that it doesn't even feel like it's freaking working for me. But I guess that's just where I see the positive with it too. And I don't understand how doctors, they throw all these medications at you, but damn, it's a shame if you want to go home and smoke a joint. I don't understand that. So
I am lucky enough to have very, very supportive doctors of the use of medical marijuana. That was actually one of my criteria for finding my doctors. And I made a point to let each of them know that I do this and it helps me. And my neurologist and my urogynecologist both encourage me to do it and think that it's wonderful that it helps me. So I actually got lucky in that department. So I don't really know how that feels.
It's so annoying because, well, first of all, I go to a certain place. I'm not going to say where it is, but they are a revolving door with their counselors and their doctors, and I'm so sick and tired of going in there, and every 2 months I get a whole brand new person that I speak to, and I have to tell my whole life story all over again. But it's just frustrating enough, and they always ask, do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you use substances? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm always, completely honest with them. Yes, I do partake in marijuana, and every single one has told me that it's horrible, or it's going to mess with the chemicals that are in your head. It's going to make it worse. And so I advocate for you to try to wean yourself off or get yourself off. And to me, it's a never-ending battle, because damn it makes me feel good, but I have to use it in such low portion because I'm trying to let the medications do what they're supposed to do. But it's so hard having to go through a day by day and knowing that I'm not going to have that support, and it's hard. But yet, I struggle because I don't know if I'm addicted. I don't know if I'm chemically dependent. I don't know what I am. And so I'm confused on how I should feel about smoking it. And it's making my anxiety and depression even worse in ways. And I don't know what to do about that.
Well, I can tell you that psychiatrists and things like that, it's such a long process to get into that profession that they're all so outdated. Mm-hmm. They don't understand, and the ones that are not willing to educate themselves are never going to see the true benefits of medical use. And so there may be some chemical dependency there, but honestly, the only reason that that's a bad thing is for our pockets. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's it.
If it didn't cost so damn much because, Missouri made you pay $300 for a medical card a year ago, only to not have a dispensary to get it from. So you're still buying it on the streets for, $300 a zip or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you can hope that you're getting something that's going to help you. And it's
like you're rolling dice because you don't know. And that's why, my nurse practitioner told me, I don't really want you using it, but if you do, there are certain strains out there that would be more beneficial for you to use, because she did say that certain strains may cause more depression and, may cause more anxiety. For me, I typically have not found that, but I have found some that definitely don't help me as much, for sure. And it's just beneficial. It's a good thing. I'm all for it, and I'm scared for my future because we have a lot of cancer in my family, and a lot of mental illness in my family, and a lot of addiction in my family. And
well, I can say 100% that your nurse practitioner is very right about the strains. Mm-hmm. There's actually one specific strain that I have tried, and I've done a lot of research as well on different strains, and every time I get a strain, I look it up. Mm-hmm. That's the very first thing I do is I look up the strain and see what it does, what it can benefit, who it can benefit. The very best strain that has helped me be able to tolerate multiple sclerosis is a strain called Critical Mass. And it's a 50-50 strain, and I've learned that most 50-50 strains are more beneficial for me. Because unfortunately, MS, every single symptom in every single person is different. And as my neurologist said, I was lit up like a Christmas tree. So I get to experience all of those symptoms. I experience everything from memory loss to incontinence to stuttering to not remembering how to write certain words or letters, to saying just the most off-the-wall things at the most inappropriate times and having no control over it.
Yeah.
Having to actually learn to apologize ahead of time before I speak to people in a professional setting because, hey, I'm sorry I have MS and I'm going to be confused. I'm going to ask a lot of questions and I'm probably going to say something stupid. and I have to tell them up front. And so because the symptoms are so variant, a 50-50 is great for me, where from what I've learned, somebody who struggles more with anxiety and depression needs a little bit more sativa in their life, because the indica is, its nickname is Indica Couch for a reason.
Exactly. And I don't like to be sunken in because I do that enough. If I'm depressed, I sleep all damn day. I don't want to be in bed or sunken down. I like to get up. I love to clean. I love to do my diamond painting. I like to do these activities and play with my 4 cats. Yes, I have 4 cats. But it is a good thing for me, and the sativa definitely is something that I enjoy because it does help me with my brain pull myself out of that funk and that fog and get me to where I need to be.
Absolutely. 100%. That's the one thing that I advocate the most towards anybody that comes to me asking for advice about their medical card and things like that, is please, please, please do your research on your strains. Understand what's best for your body. Because, if you're getting a medical card, you're getting approved for a reason. Once you understand what that reason is, do your research on your strains. And then maybe eventually one day Missouri will actually let us use our cards at a dispensary where somebody can tell us and help us.
Exactly.
But until then, you just have to hope that Henry down the street has whatever will help you.
Yep. And that's, to me, it's a damn shame that, liquor can be completely legal out on the streets, and we have so many, DUIs with that, and people don't care. They get angry, they get aggressive and all these things, and I just don't understand. I don't understand, but yet weed is the devil's lettuce, and it's a horrible, horrible thing, but in reality, it's really not. And I wish more people would understand that, but I mean, it's coming around. It's definitely becoming way more popular, for sure, and I'm very happy about that, obviously.
Yeah, I can say that it's definitely brought awareness to even just my family. Growing up, my mom just, she just never got in trouble. She was just one of those great kids. And my dad was a police officer. So, of course, my entire life, I was instilled drugs are bad and marijuana is a drug and all of these things. And, it didn't mean I didn't dabble as a teen. I did, but when I started to dabble as a grown adult, a 29-year-old woman who's going, I'm smoking weed in my backyard,
Right.
It just felt weird. And I was uncomfortable and scared to tell my parents that I was doing this because I didn't think that I would receive the support that I wanted. And it turns out that I did. And so something that I can say is no matter what, the people that are going to support you. And whether it be MS, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be scared to tell somebody that you're smoking marijuana, there's always somebody to lean on. And you need to lean on those people.
I think that is an awesome way to end this. That was beautiful and well said. Thank you, Squirrel, so much. I really appreciate it. I love you.
I love you, Blaze Rex.
So, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.